So this is 1.5 pounds of food, and I'm going to eat this entire thing for dinner, and I do quite a bit actually. And this and recipes similar to this are why I was able to lose 110 pounds and keep it off over the last couple years. There's no special ingredient, there's no trick to it, but the single biggest thing that I changed when I started losing weight wasn't exactly what I was eating, it was how full I would get when I would eat. I spent years trying to eat less, smaller portions, feel like I was starving myself, and I hear that from a lot of you in the comments section. I was eating less food, I was miserable, I was hungry, and I really wasn't enjoying myself. And at times I would lose the weight, but then I would just end up gaining it all back. And then I figured out the whole game isn't about eating less. It's actually about eating more of the right stuff. This might look a little crazy, but it's really just potatoes, carrots, stew. It's a stew. Yeah, it's a good one too. High volume, high fiber, high satiety, high quality food will keep you feeling fuller longer. So that way you snack less. You don't have that hungry feeling all day long. And along with being high fiber, it's loaded with good carbs that is going to give you energy all day long, along with protein, which will help you retain muscle while you are losing weight, which is vitally important. So this stew is basically a blueprint for that concept. You can make exactly this. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes, but you can also see exactly why I'm pairing certain ingredients together to make something like this, to where you can make something completely different, entirely your own, that ends up accomplishing the same goal. I try to keep all of these meals under 500 calories, and honestly, this is quite a bit less, and there's no way you would even know it. When I was losing weight, I was eating a lot of stews and soups, partially because I like them, but also because I figured out early on that liquid-based meals make you feel fuller and fuller longer, but also for a lot less calories than, say, a dry meal of the same size would be. There's actually some pretty decent research behind this. This is not just a feeling. Your stomach senses volume, not just calories. So a bowl of food that weighs 1.5 to 2 pounds is going to send a much stronger satiety signal than, say, a bag of chips that might actually be more calories and less bulk of food. Now, I know this sounds obvious. It probably seems like a no-brainer, but when you are in the middle of losing weight, and I see a lot of you commenting about how you feel like you are starving, your brain is screaming at you to eat more food. It understands to help why things work the way they do. So anyways, this is my stew that I would sometimes eat every night of the week. But before that, let me tell you about today's sponsor. When you're training as hard as I am, 4 days in the gym, 4 days running, prepping for marathons, sleep isn't just about rest, it's recovery. And if your sleep sucks, your training's gonna suck. I've been talking about how important sleep is quite a bit lately. And lately, my sleep doesn't suck. And that's why I have to thank Bare Mattress, today's sponsor. Since switching, I sleep cooler, I wake up less, and I actually wake up in the morning feeling rested. For someone dealing with my Achilles issues and the last final weeks of my London Marathon training, that was massive. And Bare mattresses are constantly top rated, awarded best overall in the 2026 Oprah Sleep Awards, and recognized by Wired as the best mattress for back pain, which I will say, I have noticed a dramatic difference. I am one of those back pain people. And that's because of its elite pressure relieving technology, which you can truly feel the difference. Plus, they're GreenGuard Gold certified, no fiberglass, designed and assembled at their Arizona factory. They come with a 120-night trial and a limited lifetime warranty. So gang, head to baremattress.com/saucestache and use code saucestache to get 40% off. That's better than what's on their site. And make sure you tell them that I sent you in their post-purchase survey. Bare, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for the incredible nights of sleep. I love this mattress. Oh, it's so comfy. Okay, so here's what we're working with. Potatoes and onions, carrots, celery for the base, tofu, we're gonna be using that. That's gonna be a lot of the protein. We're also gonna get some protein from the lentils along with some fiber. Well, actually, all of this is gonna have fiber. Now, a lot of this stuff is doing some real work. Potatoes on the satiety side, keeping you feeling full. When you have this the next day, the potatoes are gonna turn into a resistant starch, which is really great. But the tomatoes and lentils are also helping you, adding more fullness, more bulk, keeping you feeling fuller longer, helping that satiety. But I'm going to start with chopping up the garlic and onion, because that's gonna go in first. I'm gonna do probably 4 cloves of garlic. I like to keep the garlic kind of big pieces. This is gonna be like a stew, so big chunks of everything is actually pretty nice because I want everything to have a little bit more of a bite. So at this point, I have my Dutch oven here, the Le Creuset. We're gonna throw this on the heat, medium heat-ish, with about a tablespoon of olive oil. That's gonna be all of the olive oil for this entire recipe. Then we're gonna throw the onions and garlic in. Now the other thing that I'm gonna do is while I'm adding all of this, I'm gonna add every ingredient into my tracking app just to kind of build the recipe. And that way I can give an exact weight, what this all comes out to be, the calories, everything. So while we're letting that simmer, really I wanna talk about the lentils next, because this is gonna be the step that a lot of people may skip. You're not gonna add a ton of flavor with these, but you are going to add the protein, fiber. It's a great source of iron, which we talked about that in one of my last videos. And you're also gonna thicken the broth when these cook. Now, next up, we are going to add our tofu. Now, I'm just gonna drain this. I'm not gonna squeeze it or press it or anything. I'm just gonna toss it right in and kind of just break it up. So at this point, we have our seasonings, a little bit of cumin, smoked paprika, salt, pepper. Really simple. You can actually throw in a little ginger if you want to do that too. And then this one here, about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I like to use the low sodium soy sauce because I want to control the sodium in the end myself. It's going to add a ton of flavor. So now we're just gonna let that cook while I prep everything else. The soy sauce is going to kind of give it like an umami kind of flavor. That's the thing that's gonna make it taste like it's been cooking for hours without really adding any sort of, you're not getting a stir fry taste out of it if that's the thought process that's happening here. And again, very low calories. The 2 tablespoons adds about 20 calories. So at this point, I'm just gonna clean and chop up my celery, potatoes, carrots, and onions. Again, leaving everything fairly large. I had about 4 stalks of celery, 8 ounces of mushrooms. I'm just gonna quickly clean, and you can rinse them in the sink. These are gonna go in a stew. I can already hear some people, like screaming at me. What are you doing? You can't do that. And, really, you can do whatever you want. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So we're gonna throw in the whole can of diced tomatoes, just pour that right in, and then we'll get working on the lentils, but we're gonna let this stuff cook down for a moment. Okay, for the lentils, we just need about a half of a cup. We're gonna toss those in, and then we're gonna cover the whole thing with just enough water to kind of come to the very top. That's it. We're gonna put the lid on, and we're gonna throw it on a lower heat and kind of let that simmer together for about 25, 30 minutes. Everything should be done at that point. Okay, so this has been simmering for about 40 minutes. I let it go a little bit longer than what I wanted. It only needs about 25, but it looks really good. The lentils did exactly what they're supposed to do. This came out thick. At this point, I'm gonna throw in about 2 cups of spinach and let that cook down. So I can get accurate calories, I do have to weigh this completely out. I am excited to see what this comes out to. So this is 2,591. We're making 5 pounds of food here. 5 pounds of food. Now, this is the crazy part. So 1 serving of this, which is a huge portion, I mean, huge portion. This is 1.5 pounds of food that comes out to be 383 calories, 22 grams of protein, and 54 grams of carbs. Now, out of that 54 grams of carbs, you are getting around 13 grams of fiber. So your net carbs ends up being around 41 grams of carbs. This is a perfect meal that is going to give you energy, keep you full, keep you satiated. It's going to keep you full for a long period of time. I mean, and it's just awesome. So my final takeaway on this isn't a magic meal. It's not a one meal that's going to fix everything. This is not going to fix weight loss. No single food can, regardless of what the internet says. But if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to burn fat, and you're constantly hungry, the problem usually isn't willpower. It's the foods that you're trying to eat are not filling you up. And the fix for that is definitely not eating less. It's eating more of the right food. High volume, high fiber, enough protein, low calorie density. That's the formula. That's what this stew is. This is just one version of it. I've made other recipes similar to this. I've made a breakfast, I made a lunch, and now this is my dinner version, but it's the formula can be endless. Different vegetables, different proteins, different spices, but the structure is what matters. I ate meals like this almost every single day for a year and a half, the end of my weight loss. I would say the last 50 or 60 pounds that I lost. And I'm still eating meals like this. This is the kind of food that makes weight loss incredibly sustainable. I wasn't suffering through this. I wasn't feeling like I gave anything up. I was able to make meals that I really enjoyed, that I really liked, and meals that made a difference. That is a completely different experience to any diet that I've had in the past. So gang, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click the subscribe button. That's what this channel is now about, helping people, showing real food, real health, real results. I would love to hear some of your recipes in the comments section. Any advice that you have for people in the community that you feel you can help if you've gone through it, let's hear it. I'm open to exploring really any avenue that you have. Can't wait to see you on the next one.